Remember the movie Caddyshack? Very end, and Smales is grabbing his club, the old Billy Baroo, the club he always relies on. I got a feeling that this one might be my old Billy Baroo. What's going on, guys? Frank here with 10 Back Bowling, here to showcase the all-new Columbia 300 Cuda PowerCOR Pearl. This ball features the same core that was in the original Cuda PowerCOR, but the biggest difference is that this bowling ball has the ERT Pearl cover stock with the HK22 additive to it. So very interested to see what this ball is going to do. And as a thank you to everybody who is a current subscriber or a future subscriber, we're going to be doing a giveaway. But there are a couple things that you guys have to do in order to be eligible for it. One, you have to like our Facebook page, 10 Back Pro Shop. 2, you have to follow our YouTube page, 10 Back Bowling. 3, you also will have to like this video. And 4, you're going to have to comment to a question that I am going to ask you during this video. So I'm going to hold off on the question for now. Let's get on the lanes and see what the bowling ball is going to do. All right, guys, this is going to be a little more of a real-time vid. We're not going to do a whole lot of editing here. So we're going to start in the outside part of the lane and just start working our way left. It's pretty responsive off the friction. Get my hand around that one just a little too much. Let's stay behind this one just a little more. That's better. I can already see a difference between this one and the solid Cuda, which I brought today. I'm actually going to throw that a few times to do a little bit of a comparison. This ball is definitely more responsive than the solid version is. All right, guys, so that's the track area with that bowling ball. It's way more responsive than a couple of balls that we've previously done. One of them being the Track Stealth Pearl, and the other one being the Radical Crypto Boom. Those bowling balls, the Radical Crypto was a little earlier, but not nearly as sharp down lane as this Cuda Pearl is. And the Track Stealth Pearl actually went, in my opinion, a little too far down the lane, playing that straight and more up the back of the bowling ball. So I'm going to take the Cuda Solid now. I'm going to throw that bowling ball in the same part of the lane so that you guys can see the difference between the Cuda Solid and the new Cuda Pearl. Okay, guys, this is the Cuda Solid. Same part of the lane, same type of release. Much smoother down lane. Much smoother down lane. Oh, I got that left a little bit, but it still lays off. Much smoother, much less responsive down lane, especially when it sees the friction. Slower, a little more forward. We're playing a little farther right here. Going up the lane. All right, so a couple of really big differences between the Cuda Solid and the Cuda Pearl. Cuda Pearl is far more responsive to the friction than the Solid is. It really takes off when I see it. It's a little more difficult to get the ball to go through the pin staying that far up the back of it because it is so responsive. Whereas the Cuda Solid pretty much has its happy place in that outside part of the lane. The ball went through the pins much better than the Cuda Pearl did, playing that far to the right. But I think here is where we're going to start seeing the lane condition favor the Cuda Pearl a little bit more as I start moving left, getting my hand around it, and going a little more right to left. All right, guys, so we've made a zone move to the left here. Get my hand around it a little more. Yep, this is where we're going to start seeing big differences. All right, let's see if we can rinse and repeat that last one that we threw. That was a little farther left. It still reads the lane really good there. Oh, I got that right and slow. Nice. It's better. Nice. Very nice. Wow. Okay, guys, so like I said before, this is where we're going to start seeing some big differences between the Cuda Pearl and the Cuda Solid. This ball was way more continuous and sharper down lane, gave me mistake area left and mistake area right, which once again, for pearls, for me, is a really, really good thing to see. I think we're going to start seeing a little bit of a difference between the Solid and the Pearl now. I think the Solid is going to be a little slower down lane, and I'm going to have to manufacture it a little bit more to get the ball to go through the pins, where I was a little more natural with the Cuda Pearl. Let's see what it does. All right, so here's the Solid. Same part of the lane, same type of release. I'm not going to change anything for the first couple shots. Ooh, that was a little slippery. Yeah, see? Cleaner through the front, a lot slower down lane. Yeah, much slower, much slower. All right, guys, so in order for me to get close to duplicating that Cuda Pearl, I'm going to have to slow my ball speed down a little bit more and get my hand around it in order to try to get that sharper motion down lane. Still, that's a lot of manufacturing to try to duplicate that ball roll. This shot, we're going to go back to how we were throwing the Cuda Pearl. We're going to move our eyes in a little bit more so you can see a little difference when I get the ball in the oil. All right, so like I said, we're starting to see a lot of difference between the Cuda Pearl and the Cuda Solid. Cuda Solid, the farther I move in, the more I'm going to have to manufacture that ball motion down lane. I'm going to have to get my hand around it a lot more, slow my ball speed down to give the ball time to pick up and continue through the pins. Right now, I'm not having to do that with the Cuda Pearl. I feel much more natural, I feel much more confident, and I think by moving even farther left, it's going to really, really show the glaring difference between these two bowling balls and how, in a way, they actually complement each other. All right, so we're moving another zone. Now, once again, I am not going to change anything in terms of my release. I'm going to throw it the same way I did for the previous set of shots. This ball just keeps getting better and better the farther I move left. That's unbelievable. That is unbelievable. All right, guys, you ready for part 4 of our giveaway? As said before in the intro, I was going to give each of you a question, and since we are fast approaching the 4th of July, here is your question. How has bowling brought you joy? It can be any way. It could be a person. It could be a moment. It could be a thing, a bowling ball. Lots of different ways to answer this question. There are no wrong answers on this one. So once again, how has bowling brought you joy? I'll tell you what. This Cuda Pearl is starting to bring me a lot of joy. Whoo, baby. What are you going to do? Oh, my God. Wow, guys. I'm pretty speechless right now about this one. We're going to go to the Cuda Solid and play the same part of the lane. I'm going to do the same thing in terms of release that I was doing with the Cuda Pearl. and we'll start seeing the differences, and I'll explain to you what adjustments I'm going to make to try to duplicate the Cuda Pearl reaction. All right, so same zone, same release as the Cuda Pearl. That's going to go. Yep. Big difference, guys. Real big difference. Much cleaner through the front, much slower down lane. I'm going to have to really back down my ball speed and really get my hand around the bowling ball if I'm going to see the Cuda Solid turn over in the back part of the lane. Once again, a lot more manufacturing needed to try to duplicate just that natural ball motion that I'm seeing out of that Cuda Pearl. I don't have to do anything fancy to it. You know, the other videos so far that we've done, there's been some manipulation with, you know, the Pearl bowling balls the farther I have to move left. This Cuda Pearl, there has been none whatsoever. Once again, really clean through the front, much slower down lane, rounder in shape. I think naturally it's a lot more forward. And to show that, we're going to throw one more, and I'm going to keep my hand behind this one. I'm going to slow my ball speed down and get my hand a little more up the back of it. Yeah, see, a lot slower down lane. Ball actually deflected when it got to the pins. I know I don't like seeing the ball go through the 9 pin. I like seeing it go a little more through the 8 pin. Yeah, I feel like I got to be a little too perfect with that in order to duplicate the just that natural ball motion that I'm seeing out of that Cuda Pearl. So, man, that's a good ball. Really good ball. All right, guys, there you have it for the all-new Columbia 300 Cuda PowerCOR Pearl. This bowling ball is a must-have and for sure going into my bowling bag. This ball gives me combines, in my opinion, the best of both worlds. It's smooth when I want it to be, but continuous at the same time. And when I want to move in and get my hand around it just a little bit and not have to super manufacture sideways ball motion, this ball really wants to do that for me. I love the way that it picked up in the middle part of the lane. And I really like the way it read the outside part of the lane when I got it to the friction a little too fast. The Columbia Cuda PowerCOR Solid has been a staple in my bowling bag. I know that there were people who weren't a huge fan of it because it was a little on the conditional side. For me, it was a little on the conditional side, but I felt like I had a lot more success when I could manipulate my hand with that ball as opposed to some of the other solid bowling balls, solid symmetrical bowling balls, to be more specific, that were out on the market. So this is an awesome 1-2 punch. Guys, do not sleep on this bowling ball. I think that everyone who gets this, whether you're a straighter player, you're a tweener, or you're a power player, are going to find this ball to be an awesome complement to whatever solid symmetrical piece that you have in your bowling bag. When you're having trouble, when you move in, and difficulty getting the ball to go through the pins properly, I really think this ball is going to be a great fit for you. So once again, like our Facebook page, 10 Back Pro Shop. The links for everything will be below in the description. Like the video, follow our YouTube page, and answer that question that I mentioned in the ball review, and we'll make sure that you guys are eligible for the giveaway. The giveaway will end on July 4th at midnight. So get your entries in, and until next time, we'll see you guys for the next video.